The following program is a collection of dudes talking about the happenings in the CrossFit world. It is meant to be comedic, informative. The opinions, especially those of JY, do necessarily reflect the beliefs of others on the show. If you take things out of context, please reconsider watching. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the spin, October 9th. I'm in my normal place at home in Nashville, but Tyler below me, and then below that, John, you guys are not where you normally are. So
you should hear our journey last night where we ended up and where we had to come back to. So
we will definitely get to that in a second. And then we are graced with the presence of Mr. Chris Ibarra. Welcome to the spin.
Appreciate it.
We wanted to bring you on because John is convinced that you're going to be the next champion of Crash Crucible. And so we figured we'd get you on here ahead of that and just
no pressure
and see how things are going. So
yeah, we've actually only heard information that says otherwise, so it's starting to scare me.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I kind of want to back up, just going back to the CrossFit Games. Kind of went into that with a goal of being Rookie of the Year. You're in the hunt the whole time until Austin Hatfield decided to go win back-to-back final events. How was that experience for you? Obviously, it was a wild, unexpected first games for you. But kind of after 2 months, what are your thoughts on what you experienced there in Fort Worth?
Honestly, I mean, I get asked that all the time. Like, how was it for you? Honestly, that's the normal for me. I don't know what a good CrossFit Games is or a bad CrossFit Games. That right there was the normal to me. So hopefully next year I can tell you if it was good or bad.
Games, Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was definitely, it was weird. People dropping out. I don't know if that hurt me or was good for me. No idea. Well, you guys saw my average. I kept averaging well, and I wish those other people that would have potentially been in front of me would have helped me out. But like I said, I have no idea how it would have went. I don't know. It was a weird games, but again, that's the normal for me. So
yeah. We were talking to Ariel last week about kind of everything that transpired Thursday into Friday. From a rookie's perspective, what was your thoughts and like kind of where did you sit Thursday afternoon when all those discussions started happening about what happens with the games?
They were pretty, like, I guess the people that have been there for a while, they were asking for the rookies' opinions on everything too, because they wanted us to be involved in everything as well. So, I mean, they pretty much just asked like what we thought, what we thought we should do, and I mean, I basically told them a couple things, and then, I mean, it didn't end up being what I wanted, but I just went like that. I just let it play off on its own. I wanted to continue the games. I wanted to keep working out. I was just very confused what was going on. I didn't know if my input on things was very important, but yeah, I'd be hit.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of the rookies, that's kind of the feeling they had was like, maybe almost to who am I to speak up when there's guys that have been there for 8, 9, 10 plus years. I don't know. Is that kind of how you felt like in that situation? I know they're obviously asking for your opinion, but I mean,
yeah, a little bit, but I thought it was pretty neat that they were just like, they wanted one of us to step up and ask, or wanted our opinion. And I mean, we gave them our opinions, and I thought that was pretty cool of them to ask the rookies, because I know they probably could care less about us, but I thought that was pretty cool of them to ask that.
yeah.
As far as execution on your part, as far as the actual games goes, how do you think it went?
For the first game, I think it went fine. My goal was
Hey, thank you for the detailed answer.
I mean, it went fine. I wanted to get Rookie of the Year. Did I get it? No, but that's all I can say. It went fine. I'm not gonna say it went bad because I was there all weekend. But yeah, I would say fine.
So you leave Fort Worth. You're done with the weekend. What did you do? I mean, a lot of athletes take time off, decompress. Was that same for you, or were you kind of just geared up to kind of just keep going into?
No, I took time off. Yeah, I heard you guys talking on your last episode that if I took a month off, I did take a month off. I definitely took a month off. CrossFit, because I'm usually by semifinals, I'm done training, and going past semifinals is freaking hard, and it sucks, and my body starts breaking down, and I mean, I've never experienced it, so I definitely needed that month off after the games, and I was very grateful to take that month off.
So you've been about getting back into it for about a month. When did you commit to competing at Crash?
I would say I was fully committed whenever JR messaged me the link, and he's like, "You got 24 hours to sign up." I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Because, I mean, before that, I took a month off. I joined a weightlifting gym, and that's all. Most of my time was in that weightlifting gym because I know that's what I needed to work on. So I joined a weightlifting gym, and I was at a weightlifting gym way more than I've been at a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
So,
workouts have come out. Have you done any testing on those? What are your initial thoughts on what you've seen?
I've done them all. The first one is gonna be a little rough. I would say that's gonna be the worst one, I think, for sure. I won't lie about that. It'll definitely be the worst one.
As far as how you feel, or performance wise?
Both lungs and that's a heavy dumbbell. It's a heavy dumbbell. When I tested it, I just fell apart and just staring at the rings the whole time, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long weekend if this is how they all go.
Yeah. Is there anything that you are actually looking forward to? Like, John is convinced that you on event 6, Mad Moon, that's kind of your that's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one, and I'm excited for the handstand walk one. Those are probably, I feel like even out of shape, I could do pretty good at those. So yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those. The last one, it's gonna burn, it's gonna hurt. I tested that one, and I hit the time cap. I'm not gonna lie, I hit the time cap. Me and Jacob. Jacob was making fun of me too, and I was like, dude, I got capped. And at that time, I went back. I was like, wait, it says 8-minute time cap. I wouldn't have got time capped. And then in our emails, it said it was 6-minute time cap. So I didn't. I had my coach message JR, and he's like, nope, it's 6 minutes. So I got time capped the first time doing it. So I'll let you guys. I'll tell you guys that. So.
So about how out of shape are you, Chris?
I'm a gamer. Let's just say that. So hopefully I do better there.
When you do line up on the floor, are you one that kind of looks around and sees where others are, or are you kind of narrowly focused, stare down your line, not really worry about where the others are?
I usually set goals. If I know I need to go unbroken on the ring muscle ups, that's my goal. I'm not looking left or right. If I need to break on my ring muscle ups, say I need to break 5-5, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to freaking just send it and then completely fall apart on the third round and look like I'm a rookie. So, yeah, I definitely have a strategy on every workout. So,
Are you pretty good at sticking to that strategy?
yes, I am. And I think that's why I average very well in every workout that I do.
Yeah.
There was one workout that I sent it at the games and I almost got an event win, completely fell apart on the handstand push-ups. And it
That's
still
a lot of
ended
people
up
did
in
that.
14th. I still ended up in 14th place on the workout. I was like, what the heck?
Have you heard of P-score?
A little bit. Jacob's talked to me a little bit about it.
Tyler?
Jacob don't know shit about P-score.
It's a little bit different. Obviously, you don't get a set number of points based off of where you finish. It almost, if you are a home run hitter, not letting up and just beating somebody by a second is super important. But at the same time, if you are, second, third, fourth, fifth, like you can actually gain points by pushing there, even if you have nobody coming up behind you. Kind of my question about if you look around, right? Like P-score kind of makes you do that a little bit more, I think, because you can't just kind of coast in if, you're middle of the pack. Like every second really does count for a few extra points.
Yeah. That's another reason I was like, why are they picking me to win all these workouts? I'm like, I am Mr. Average is what you guys call me.
They is a bad word to use here.
Chris, did Taylor make the games?
No.
Did Colten make the games?
But my thing is, did they take that month off? Is what I'm
No,
saying.
they did not. No, I'm not gonna lie. You've instilled a lot of not confidence in what I have told the people.
Yeah, did they take that month off? And again, if I beat these dude right now, they're not gonna beat me in August. So that's my thing too. If I beat them whenever I'm out of shape, they're not gonna beat me whenever I'm in shape. It's my thing.
What did Jacob say about P-score?
That he didn't know what it was. It's stupid.
No, so when I originally released C-score, there was a good bunch of talk between me, him, and I think one of the tactical games, like administrator guys.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good bit of conversation back and forth about it.
He really didn't say much. That's how they score tactical games, though, right?
Similarly, it's a little different, but there's a lot of overlap.
Oh, okay, because that's all he mentioned. He said a little bit. There was very similar to the tactical game scoring.
Yeah,
and that's what he mentioned. But he didn't.
Like Spin said, like it doesn't change much for you guys. It's just those last few minutes or few seconds where it's like I can really take off here and smash the other guys, or like Colton's not that far ahead. I can catch up to him. I need to get as close to it as I can to him. The only thing that I'll say, and this won't be as important for you, but it's like if you fall behind the half mark in the field, you really need to try your best to get to the half, because if you fall behind the pack, it just murders you.
It incentivizes first place to go at their actual fastest they can.
Yeah.
Right. So even if they're ahead, they can't coast in the win. Right.
I mean, they can. It's just they're ruining it for themselves.
They lose points doing that.
Yeah.
So you can't. So first place can get 100 points if they win, no matter what.
That's how. First is always 100, But
Oh,
then
okay.
the relationship.
But
with
what's
you
second, third,
is
fourth? So second place could be 98 points.
It could
it
also
could
be
how is that-
85.
Yeah,
How is that determined? By a minute?
The middle person.
the middle
The
person.
gap between the middle person.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're first, so say Taylor's first place at something and you finish 2 seconds behind him in a 20-minute workout. Y'all are right next to each other and you sprint to the end, Taylor wins. You'll get 99 points and Taylor will get 100 because you're right after each other in a long workout. Does that make sense?
But in a 4-minute workout, if you win and Taylor gets a minute behind you,
He's
and
probably going to be murdered.
He'll have 10 points instead of 30. It would be 10 points. It could work the other way around too.
Right.
It's all about time domain, like averages and how close you are to somebody. It's not distributed.
Okay.
In the simplest words, it is scoring for the best. I want to know how good the best person is. I don't give a shit about the bottom half of the field.
So in the pill thruster workout, when Colton's way ahead of y'all, he can't just coast in, and he's got to actually do the second set of thrusters as fast as he wants to, as fast as he can do them.
If he wants to make it the most that he can make out of that event.
Colten, or let's use Olivia for instance. You and Olivia are close. Like Olivia had the highest P score, first to second place of all time in the snatch ladder workout at semis. So like she would get 100 points, and she was ahead of everybody by so much.
They had 17 points.
Second place was 83 points.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mr. Average, I think Medeiros made a living of that a few years ago, but it almost feels like that's kind of changing a little bit, especially with the men's field getting as top heavy as it is. When you're doing your training, like, are you working on certain things to try to become a home run hitter on anything? Or, I mean, because like, it doesn't feel like you're bad at anything, but you're not winning anything either.
I would say, dude, I think it's just my strength. That's the only thing that's keeping me back from being in the top 10 at the games. It's my strength. And I feel like if I get stronger, it's gonna bring me up on everything. And I think that's all it is. Like I'm okay at everything, but if I just get stronger this off season or these next couple of years, I think that's just gonna change me as an athlete.
Yeah. What are you doing specifically this off season when it comes to that?
I got a Olympic weightlifting coach, and she's been working with me for a couple months now, and she's completely destroying my snatch technique and clean and jerk technique and just everything, completely destroying everything, which is good. I think it's going to benefit me a lot. So
yeah, no, you definitely can move moderate weight well. I think to your point, getting that heavy end, top end strength probably will benefit you even more. And just even that, plus, any of those other type of barbell, like the clean ladder at the games, those types of things.
Yeah. Well, during that event, I went back and watched every workout, but during that event, I looked back and listened to it, and they were like, I guess I don't have any numbers in. They were like, yeah, Chris has a 315 clean. I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, that's what you guys put me down as? How embarrassing. I'm at the games cleaning 315. I was like, that is not right.
Yeah, 325, guys. Come on. Like, that's good. Come on.
I was like, you're kidding, right? And then again, and another thing that happened was I went from like 44,000 to making the games the next year, and they didn't realize that I didn't put one of my scores in the year prior, and I was like, okay, you guys making it look like I'm on steroids and I'm getting tested every other week.
Where's Barkley? We need to call Barkley up. Speaking of drug testing, have they visited you at all? They've done any random testing?
No, I just signed up for the whole thing or whatever. I got an email about it. During semifinals, I got drug tested, and I did the urine test and the blood test. Got both. I think only 3 athletes get both. and I was one of those athletes.
Lucky you.
So are you wearing that as a badge of honor? It's like,
They
No,
saw,
I was
they saw
like-
that 44,000 and they're like, oh man.
Yeah,
Get
for
that
sure.
guy.
But they said anywhere between now till December, I think, is I don't know.
There you go. So when are you heading to?
You know, they saw that 44,000. They're like, got him. Got that one. Check it
Until
off.
they saw my 315 max clean.
And they're like, he needs it. He's fine. He's
When are you heading out to South Carolina?
I am flying in tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And
Tomorrow morning.
have you tested any like the pill or?
No, I'm hoping to touch one there. So, no.
yeah, it touched
Spit,
me
get-
today.
Get familiar with it.
I've been I've been doing the workout with a D ball,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it's the same.
Nope.
That might be harder, honestly.
Yeah,
No way, dude.
I don't know. It's going
I-
over my head. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it like Taylor, and he had it on his back. Just I watched his video on YouTube. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's so JR. I was supposed to do a workout, and JR was like, "Well, let's just do this workout." And JR was my partner, and that was glorious. It was so great, and it had 100 pill thrusters in it. And
yeah, that was the split between teams of 2, right?
yeah, yep. And you know, I did the first 10, not bad at all. I'm like, it's nothing. Like this could be 150 pounds. I could do it. And then about 30 in, it became something. And
That's
then
funny, but that's when it hit me too.
my back
Like
was
30
blown
in.
up, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm done. JR, you gotta do 15. like it was so bad. And it was way less about strength and more your just ability to take. Like it felt like a grinder type of deal.
Mhm.
Your like midline's ability to take, you know, hitting after hitting after hitting. Very low back, but yeah, you need to practice it because it's different than anything you've done before.
Yeah, I feel like all these workouts are like lower back. Like I swear I wore a belt every freaking event. So
It's a good
Yeah.
point. I did the same thing. I did sort of like hit all the pieces of Crash Crucible today with Lindsay Lane. She was kind of just doing a run through of a little bit of everything, just easier. And we did quite a few of those thrusters, and I lost that sucker. After I got to, I was fine till 30, like John said. And then at 30, the wheels started to fall off, and I must have dumped that thing like 6 times. I would get it to my shoulder, I'd do a thruster, and it would just dump off my back. So it's an implement. It's cool.
yeah.
I really like it in that it feels more functional than like just doing a regular thruster. It's aggravating. I like the hell out of it.
Does it get pretty slick, do you think?
Yes. So me
Yes.
being bald did not help.
Wear a shirt.
Or is
Yeah.
My head I sweat a lot anyway. And so it's like again, like 30 in, I got the thing is just slick. It's glossy slick. And then it's going over my head and it's just sliding across my head. So yeah, it gets super slick.
Yeah, man. Good luck this weekend out
Appreciate
there
it.
at Crash, and make John proud.
Yeah.
He needs this on Heat 1.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. After this interview, I think I'm going to update my picks a little
Hey, like
slightly.
I said, if I beat these guys aren't very
Chris,
good.
that don't give me confidence. Okay,
If I
I'm
beat
happy
these
for you
guys-
if it happens, but I tell these people who to pick.
It's okay. Nobody listens, John.
Okay, yeah.
You should have texted me. You have my number.
What do you want me to say? Hey, are you fit still? That's what you want me to text you?
I'd have been like, I've been at a weightlifting gym more than a CrossFit gym. That's all I would have said.
Okay. Well, it's over. Good luck. I hope you do great.
Awesome, man. Safe travels there, and good luck this weekend, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you tomorrow,
Have a good
Chris.
one.
Going, Chris.
John, do you know who Rico Bosco is?
No.
He's a Barstool. He's like one of the Barstool guys, right? And he's like this really mad, like deep, like downtown Bronx, like type of New York kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they say he has the most powerful phone on the East Coast when it comes to college ball. Like he knows everybody. And so I was like, actually, who is the phone of CrossFit? Are you the most powerful phone in CrossFit?
The most connections?
Yeah, the most connections.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
No.
So I think it's way more.
You muted it. You're gone.
You muted yourself. Hang on. There you go. Nope. You chose to mute yourself. I don't know what's going on. Your mic is not working at all, John.
Sorry, Lupe. I don't know shit about New York, but he just sounds like a pissed off New York dude.
All right. Well, John tries to figure that out. I got a video that I want to share. So let me pull this up here.
Check.
There you go, John. There you go.
Okay. No, I don't think I'm the most powerful phone. Dave Castro is probably the most powerful phone.
Well, no, in the media space, of course, there's more powerful phones.
Sevon's probably the most powerful.
Vonderhiller probably had the actual.
Well, the problem with
phone
Sevon
numbers.
is he doesn't know how to text.
Yeah.
He has them. It's just that's it.
Yeah, he's got the numbers.
Tyler, 15 reps on the bench press.
No. He said he.
Let him go.
Yeah, he said he could do 15 reps.
Can I explain the context, please? I think it deserves
John.
Okay,
you explain it. I need to go pick up a paper for viewer comments. So you put this in context.
Okay. So I think it was on Sevon's podcast, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was on Sevon.
Yeah, Tyler said that he could do 15 reps. He has done 15 reps with 225. And me and the rest of the crew, I would say everybody hopped on it, said BS, I don't believe you. And then Tyler said at any point, I think I could do 12. And I will give him the benefit of the doubt. If he could do 12 reps with 225, I'll say I think you could say, yeah, he could have done 15. It's a believable score that's his top time that he did 15 bench press at 225. So today we had a 225 bench press test. And these are the results.
There it is. Mr. Pepper.
John and I did not match on purpose.
We do look like a team.
Go. All 15.
Your face.
And this first rep was slower than his next 5 reps. So I thought there was no shot.
Come on. Come on, Tyler. Big round. Come on,
13.
So that's pretty good. I believe Tyler. Tyler once bench pressed 225 15 times.
You need to connect those feet to the ground. They were sliding all over the place.
Hey, this isn't Rogue. We're just
no kidding. Jayson did a bench press and his ass was this far off the seat today.
By the way, Jayson goes, he said I can out bench you to me. And I said, no shot, none, 0. Go bully somebody else. And then he gets a bench press out, and somehow the number got lowered to 330. No. Here's what happened. Yeah.
This was hilarious to watch.
And I was like, no shot that you could bench press 350, right? My max is 357. So I just said 350. I was like, no shot. And I think he doesn't remember the weights he did in quarterfinals, because he said he did 347 in quarterfinals way back when. And I think it must have been 337 or it wasn't. I was like, no way, right? And he starts benching, and then he starts struggling at 295. And I look at Dallin and I'm like, no shot. And then he did 315 and it looked like the end of the world. And then we put 335 on there. And I was like,
yeah, who bet $100? How did this bet happen?
No, he said, I bet you $100 I'll make this slip. And I was like, done. And he's like, I'm gonna show you what like adrenaline can do. And then we bet, and he goes, but if I make it or if I miss it, I don't have to pay $100. And I was like, no, like, that's not how a bet works.
It's not $100 prize.
And then
that's what it was.
and then I think we settled on something that I cannot say, but we settled on something much smaller. And when I tell you, I had bench press, and he did it. He got 335. He did it. But whenever we're talking about 350, and we got to 335, he lowered it down. And it was, if Dave Castro's deadlift had a bench press partner, that was Jayson's bench press.
It was so slow.
It took this man like 20 seconds midair, and he finally edged it out. And he did. I mean, he did it. It was really fun. It looked like 335, but it was not. No shot. But he was on cloud 9. But yeah. He about broke himself. I was scared for a second he was going to like tear a pec with how long he was struggling. And I was like, I'm about to hurt this man, and it's going to be my fault because I goaded him into this. But no, he got it, and it was very fun. It was very impressive.
Yeah, your guys' Airbnb Wi-Fi is struggling. But
listen, this is not our Airbnb Wi-Fi. This is at JR's house. Our Airbnb
JR.
Wi-Fi is probably much
TBD.
worse. Yeah.
okay. He's
It's in the
sabotaging it.
Oh, do you want to tell our story now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So yesterday, it's like 8:00, and me and Tyler
John's cranky. He's super.
Did you just get into town?
No, I've been in town, but I've been at the gym for a while. What did we do yesterday?
Yeah, I picked him up, and he was like, "I just want to go lay down." And then I convinced him, like, I want to go back to the gym. I want to work out, or I want to do some stuff at the gym. I needed to go back to the gym to pick some stuff up, regardless. So then we get there, and John's like, "Well, I could kind of work out, you know." And so he starts working out. Anyway, so long story short, several hours later, we're like, "Okay, let's go back to JR's, pack up my stuff, and then we'll go to the Airbnb."
And I've been up since 4 because
the podcast too.
Because I had to coach the morning classes, and we podcasted the day before that till midnight because Stefan's Crash preview went forever. So I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, and like that's why when he picked me up, I'm like, I just want to lay down in a bed. I don't care if I go to sleep. I just want to lay down. And then, but no, we go to the gym for a couple hours, and then I'm like, okay, let's go get food and go to bed. Like, let's leave, please. And so then he gets his stuff, and then we drive out. This Airbnb, listen, I'm so thankful for you, Haley Matosian. She's the one who got the Airbnb. You probably shouldn't be allowed to do the Airbnb stuff anymore because this thing, you know, JR was like, if Deliverance 2 was filmed, it would be in this place. He's not lying.
It's pretty far.
In the middle of nowhere. I was so sketched out. We're the only car lights in this freaking forest. And I'm like, this is where people die. Like, this is not, I don't like this. All right. I've seen too many scary movies. I'm not down for what we're in Tyler's freaking prelude. That car is going to die in this scary movie for sure. And,
no chance.
And then we get to this house, and it's like, we don't know if we're in the right spot, but the lights are on. There's a car there, and there's lights are on. And we know we're the only ones here. We know that we don't know the crew is here. Right. And then a guy comes and kind of looks out the door. Not any of our guys, just some random guy. And then he like walks away, and the door's still open, but just the lights on. And I'm like, this is an invitation for murder. This is wherever we are, we need to get out of here. Like it does. The whole thing feels tension rising, right? Chris, you know what? I'm in a foreign land. I'm allowed to be on edge a little bit. Okay. I'm not about to be in some sick South Carolina human centipede train. Okay. That's not me. And so then we look up if we're in the right spot. We're in the right spot. We both match.
I'm like John. I was like whipping it around at this point. I was like trying to get around.
Tyler's pulling out. We're like, we're gonna go out to a road and figure it out. Yeah, where people are. And it turns out we don't have the Airbnb booked that night. It was for the next night. It was, yeah. So
we had to drive like 30 minutes out to this
and
place.
it's 30 minutes away from Spartanburg. Like it's 30 away. And then keep in mind, I've been up since 4. I just want to go to bed. Now we got to drive all the way back to JR's house. And then, and then Tyler's like, hey, I'm going to get up at like 7 and go to the gym. I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to sleep till 11 and you can come and pick me up if you want to. We can figure out what we're doing. So yeah, that was our little adventure.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, not that exciting of a story, but it was exciting for us.
It could have been if you got out and
exciting
went to
for
the
us.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Tyler
should
would've
have
been
went
going
into
to
the house. We should have been like, you all aren't supposed to be here. This is
Yeah.
our house. Just
This is
Yeah,
our
we
house.
should have walked in cocky as all get out, be like, who the freak has our reservation right now?
Yeah.
And look, the car that was here, it was a white van. Okay, a white van from Florida. Like it wasn't a normal car. It was a Jeepers Creepers looking car. Okay.
Yeah, well, I will give that. It was not the best looking vehicle.
The whole thing was not great.
Wow. Viewer comments. That was good. John. That was good. I don't know what to say about that. All right. Colby Stevens. I agree. Chris is going to win Crucible, but the Adler disrespect is crazy. He doesn't compete at the games, so he falls from fittest to the tier of James Sprague. Rogue will speak for itself.
I agree, Colby. Rogue will speak for itself. And if Jeff wins or gets second in Rogue, he don't even have to win. If he gets first or second in Rogue, then Jeff will rise, right? If Dallin is 5th at Rogue and Jeff is 1st at Rogue, Jeff will probably replace Dallin at the top of the mountain for the men. 100%. Rogue will heavily influence it, but it hasn't happened yet. You can't just say it's going to happen. So until it happens, the mountain will be updated. Stay tuned.
And
The mountain is ever evolving.
We need Chris to be a little bit more confident for me to be
Yeah, by the
confident
way,
to pick Chris.
I would like to officially take this time to say that Colten Mertens is going to win Crash Crucible.
No, I'm not allowing it.
Chris Ibarra is going to get 3rd place at Crash Crucible. That's what I'm going to say. That would be the bet that I would like, or not the bet. That would be like my official predictions are Colten Mertens and Taylor, and then Chris, and then Nick Mathew. That's what I would like. That's my official predictions.
John's so fickle.
That interview was not good for him.
And we heard like inklings of that. It's the second I got off of our preview or the preview podcast, and I'm like, guys, Chris Ibarra is the guy, man. Y'all don't understand. And this is another Hatfield situation. You just gotta trust me. And then I got like 3 text messages from people saying like, hey, Chris isn't fit anymore. And I'm like, I wish I would have known that beforehand.
No, I think this would be good because when Chris does well, then we'll be like, this is the most humble man in CrossFit.
No, I agree completely with what he said. If Taylor and Colten, and honestly Nick,
yeah,
if they get beat by Chris at like, he's not wrong. Then they're not going to beat him next year. Like, then he's better than them. If they can't beat him now for 100%, I agree with Chris. Problem is, Colten is filthy. Okay. Like Colten is so fit. It's an anomaly. He didn't make the games. And Taylor's really, really fit when there's nothing that's in his way, brute strength wise. And there's only one thing, and it's in a cardio workout. I think Taylor's going to be fine, like overall. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think an out of shape Chris is going to beat an in shape Taylor or Colten or Nick. But I'm officially going to predict Chris to be out of shape Chris. We need to nickname him. And I'm going to say this on the commentary the whole time because he's out of shape Chris, like Fat Thor. You know what I mean? He self-admitted this. I think we need another name for him. So if he wins the handstand walk workout, I'm like, Taylor Self just got beat by Fat Chris.
Chris Ibarra.
Well,
he be eating pies. He ain't working
Chris
out.
Ibarra. That's I like that. We should come up with a nickname though. I'll consult some of his people will come up with a nickname for him. But
Average Chris.
Average Chris. Okay. I'm going to say that. And I'm going to say it so many times. And it's funny. I hope he's freaking great. I hope he's awesome. I just think you need to be on top of your game to beat Colten. And
don't make us make
honestly
this
Taylor.
Chris. We don't want to do this to you, but we'll do it.
No. His name is Average Chris. You need to come. You need to come prepared.
Lee Frazier. She doesn't hear anything. What's the big news, John? Honestly, something could have been announced, but she came here to get the big news. And JY and the Spin are quiet. Where can I get the big news if not here?
What?
August 7th is passed, John.
Oh.
October wins.
October 7th.
Told you it was the over.
It's the over. October 7th.
No, and I know I got news. I did get a phone call. And
From HQ.
They said they're not doing it October 7th because of what I said. So
October 14th.
yeah, we don't know when they're going to say something. It should be soon, but I'm on a blacklist and I don't know if I can go to the games next year.
We'll find out.
Maybe it's online. I don't know.
Kathy Stan, if they get rid of in-person semifinals, it'll be a massive disservice to Australia and the other countries outside of the United States. For so many, the semifinals are our CrossFit Games experience. We can't afford to travel to the United States every year.
Do you think that rumor is coming from more directions than I'd like to?
We've heard it from a few people, but
Yeah.
I feel like we've
more
heard
than
it
any
from-
other rumor I've ever heard.
I think it's one rumor though that just a lot of people heard, and then we're just
Hearing it from different angles.
Yes, I do.
Do you think, like, if we made that move, do you think people are like, no, fuck this, like, we're gonna throw big events, and people stop participating and they go start participating in that stuff?
No,
If it's I think it's all online, people start getting frustrated, especially if you have more quarterfinal issues where you don't have another opportunity, right? Like if you have a box step up fiasco, it's over, right? At least getting to the top 40 in semifinals is doable with a minor penalty if you're good at everything else.
Like for me,
I'll be thoroughly disappointed if it's
all online.
All online. I would much rather, like, if they don't want to do semifinals, I'd much rather them just designate it to random competitions and then the top 5 of that competition get to go. Kind of like sanctionals, but a little more official, a little less wild west with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
John and I were talking about this on the way back to JR's. Is like, I would be happier with a sanctional system. Like Indianapolis is a big CrossFit. There's a lot of good CrossFitters in Indianapolis. And it's like, I would be happier with a quarterfinal situation where it's like, you guys can go to your state level and do like big in-person competitions there. It's all dependent on the community to throw that. But like, this is the programming.
That's sectionals 2010.
Yeah, I would be more happy with that than I would be with an online situation.
We could do like the fittest person of like, you get Montana, Idaho, and Washington, that whole area. They get like 3 people, and then Texas gets 3 people.
Right.
And the whole.
I actually ran these metrics for the East and the West, and it's like Mississippi doesn't even get like a spot because like they get a spot.
That's what I'm saying. Some group, but you could play it like, let's see where everybody's coming from.
The United States to hunt method.
Yeah, and then Mississippi. Yes, Spin. The Mississippi, Alabama, and then that northern coast of Florida. Like you could designate areas and then give them like electoral votes to the games, electoral spots, just like the government works.
I like that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, right? And I mean, it'd kind of be like regionals, but it'd be a little bit. But I'm saying do a lot of them, like. And
it hurts our boy Hatfield though. West Virginia does not deserve a spot either because I did the.
Yeah, no, but he'll be grouped with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll be West Virginia, and like East Virginia.
East Virginia. John Young upset the unknown. I'm
Last
not going to
week.
go into a very, very lengthy comment, but I will
He
finish
flips
it.
the page.
I flipped
Hold on.
the
That felt like a book. Oh
yeah.
man.
Critically, in neither case was my comment stupid, as it followed your introduction. John doesn't want to hear this. And preceded your contradictory reversal. Personally, I think you're good for the space. Yes, you're loud and often obnoxious, but also make good points and bring value to the speculative arena. Having said that, it would benefit you greatly to add precision to your bravado and humility when you fail to do so. If you don't, the hate that already comes your way is only going to build, and deservedly so. Whichever path you choose, best of luck.
John was born
What,
in the hate,
What did I miss?
molded by it.
You need to add precision to your bravado and humility when you fail to do so.
John and I were talking about this today or yesterday. Is the characters that everybody is, and it's not like we're playing into anything. We're just being who we are. And so, spending this time with John, even though we've spent a lot of time together in the past, these past 2 days has been like, no, he's right. Like, we are who we are. I don't change the John Young formula at all. Keep that Ovaltine going, baby.
They hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Pre-circ.
Hold on. Can we analyze the comment though a little bit? So precision to my bravado.
Bravado. So
When I am right. Like, help me out. Like I need this explained to me. I'm dumb.
we lost you.
Yeah, you broke up. But I think what the unknown is saying is that just because you're confident and have your mountain, you actually have to be precise with it. You can't just put people.
Okay,
in
that's
mountain.
fair. I would argue I'm the most precise person there is that makes predictions. And I feel like there is a lot of stuff that backs that up.
In a simple way of restating what the unknown said is, there's with great power comes great responsibility.
Do not lead the viewers astray, John.
Well, I already said Chris was going to win Crucible.
And you've now changed your answer. You changed your answer, your prediction.
Well, I got new
very
information.
humble.
I did not
Very
know
humble.
that we were just, I don't know. It's my fault. I should check in. He's right. I should have texted him.
Yeah. Pre-circ enjoyed the over/under game and people's answers annoying John Young. So we'll have to bring that back. Boss Man Australia. CrossFit, we won't be having the games in 2025 or maybe longer, so we can work on what needs changing. So that's what, if CrossFit says that they're not having the games, how do you think the athletes would like that possibility, since they are the ones asking for the changes? So they ask for changes. CrossFit says, we're not going to have the games next year. We're going to work on those changes. Take a year off. How do they like that?
If they said they liked it, they would be very, very mistaken.
I don't know. I feel like they would just say, I'm just going to go do a lot of the way, like Ariel just said. I feel like all of them would just say, when I see the changes, I'll be happy. I wish the games were still going on, but I get it. I'm going to do NorCal, and I'm going to do Crash, and I'm going to do Rogue, and do all the competitions that you can,
I think if they said they weren't doing the games for 1 year, they're not doing the games for ever.
No,
I don't disagree with you.
I don't disagree with that.
If HQ running the CrossFit competitive environment, how that if that changes, if they stop running the CrossFit competitive environment, if they stop owning the games, how that transition of power happens is the most important thing. If they just fail in 2025, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do it. And then they sort of leave us hanging and there's no games. And it's like, what the fuck were we supposed to do? CrossFit dies.
Well, I think that's when the inaugural locker room classic steps to the plate.
Yeah.
Seriously. No. You're laughing.
No,
if there was no games,
I think a lot of things start filling in, because if you said like, hey, there's nothing in this void between February and August, stuff starts filling up pretty quickly. Like people start putting together stuff fast.
Yeah. I think we would all pull together and we would make it there would be $100,000 prize and we would make it happen. I don't know what we would do to make it happen, but we would.
Right.
We made $6,000 pop up out of thin air for people doing burpees.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's when the locker room classic if it makes its introduction. And I think people would sign up. And if you don't want to sign up, then that's your loss because we're going to make it big.
Mr. Young, how are they like 200,000 saying that you're going to take the Open off?
So they wouldn't have the Open, right?
I mean, I would.
There's no game.
That's what he's saying.
Right.
Right.
Like,
So
if
they
you
lose
flipped
money.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'd almost argue that that's what professionalizing the sport does, is it gets rid of the Open.
I disagree.
No.
The true professionalization, and we'll get into it in the last segment of what it sounds like the PFAA wants. But if you're going to say that you want true professional sport, doing the Open, grassroots Open online doesn't fit that.
I'll say this like I say everything else. You're saying the true professionalization because you're comparing it to every other sport that exists.
Everybody is saying they want when it's professional.
What people say they want and what they actually want are often two very different things.
I'm Team Tyler on this. You cannot do that. CrossFit is not anything like any other sport. There is merit into saying that you're doing the same workout that the fittest man in the world is doing. When they say the Open is the biggest community fitness event of all time, it is not a lie. And I think if you just do away with that, there is going to be, I think CrossFit dies. Like you say to further professionalize the sport, I'm saying that's a part of the sport. Like
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying that's what some people I believe think they want.
They've deluded themselves into thinking that's
professionalized.
Then I'm telling those people that you don't know CrossFit. Then you're not professionalizing anything. That would kill the sport.
You're just mimicking other sports, and so you don't have a real brain. You're just mimicking.
Julian Ifford, in other sports, when the analysts are commentating, they are not allowed to make picks. For example, College Game Day, NBA, NFL. Why do you do it, John? Why are you making picks?
I disagree. I feel like College Game Day, Kirk Herbstreit, like they make their picks all the time. People like Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, all they do is make picks.
Well, I think they'd say that Colin Cowherd isn't in the broadcast booth. But
okay, that's fair. This is my first time commentating. To be
so
fair.
After this week, it's over.
To be fair, this is my first time commentating, and to her point, like Chase and Bill,
does it.
Do not make
picks.
They
don't make public picks. No.
I'm an enigma, Julian. Maybe I'm setting.
But Sean does. On Talking Elite Fitness, they'll do like predictions.
Those aren't real predictions. Julian, maybe I'm one of a kind. I don't know, but I'm much more of an analyst than I'm a commentator. I'm fake commentating. Okay, I'm just putting my commentator hat on. It might go terrible. What?
The Spincast has prepared you well for this.
That's true. That's true, but I've never done it before. I could be absolute trash. Bill could be like, dude, what the freak are you doing, man?
I think Bill will keep you on the rails, and you can
standing next to Bill will be
Bill can do all the play-by-play and keep it on the rails, and you can just go wild. And
but we're gonna do our best. I'd say I'm much more of an analyst than a commentator. I don't even want to be called a commentator. I'm just saying what's happening.
Yeah. All right. Crash Crucible, 36 hours.
Give me a second. I need to rearrange. My back I can't sit like this. So
low back is bothering him. Oh, jeez, John.
So Crash
Crucible, Friday morning, action kicks off. I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm actually working to get the heat schedule, or at least the event schedule, so I can publish that tomorrow, so you guys don't miss any of the action. So there's been plenty of preview shows. If you've caught Savon,
You gotta clip that. No context. It's
Okay.
this is a live show. Anyway,
Sponsored by Exerciser.
So Savon had a show 2 nights ago, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Went through every event. We're gonna do something a little bit different. We are going to go through the prop bets.
We are gonna not do that.
Exactly. That would be a terrible idea. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. There we go. All right. So
You guys zoom way in.
I don't have that
Can you do
ability.
Can you make it the side screen spin?
What's that?
Yeah.
I think that's
there we go.
better,
That's the best. That's the best
It's
thing.
a little bigger.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously there's still the top 10 you can pick on Crash, and then the shot caller, which you see here. You have the lineup picking every event. There is the male, female. It's not the empty. It's called the flex. That was driving me crazy on Savon.
It was me too. I was like, it's not worth it. He's not gonna get it. Just let it go.
You can pick any male or female that you have not already picked on those events. So you must pick for all 7 events. The prop bets. First of all, Tyler, are these all of the prop bets, or will you be adding any throughout the weekend?
We will be adding.
All right.
And we will send out push notifications, turn your alerts on for Heat One app. So
Awesome. All right. So first one, Colten versus Taylor. Can Taylor beat Colten by 20 plus points? This might be the worst prop bet I've ever seen.
I beg to differ, dude.
Tyler's the only one who doesn't think so.
He's
That's
the
why I
8%
said-
right now.
I set this prop.
Hey,
I
only
did.
40 people have voted on this, and Tyler is the 8% of yes.
I did a super in-depth analysis of this, and I think this is fair.
I've done a very minimal analysis on this, and the answer
I
is
think
no.
you're way wrong.
Okay.
This is where you need the variable scoring, so that 8% could actually get something, because right now there's absolutely zero reason to pick yes, because
If Taylor
nobody
beats
wants
Colton by 20 points, you can have my senior analyst title.
Okay.
And I'll leave the locker room. And
Give me $100, but I not pay you out if I lose.
I will put you at the top of the mountain, Tyler. if
Listen, John's been bartering these mountain spots today, and
No, they
my
were
faith in
talking
the
about
mountain.
it wasn't me. No, they are trying to barter with me.
Augustus, this is the entire weekend overall final leaderboard. Does Taylor beat Colten by more than 20 or more points? I'm going to go with no.
Oh, on the live submission.
That's right. Zero chance.
Wrong.
No.
Good as chance as anybody.
Maybe straight up. I might.
No.
If it was straight up, there's some possibility there, but I am not going to spot Colten 20 points off the bat.
I can't wait to be right.
Okay. Men's top 10. How many men that did not go to semifinals finished top 10?
This
Tyler,
is
do we know
hard.
how many men of the field did not go to semifinals?
Yeah, it's way more than half. I put a sheet together.
Is it individual? Like, would Sam DeMeester count as not semifinal athlete?
Yeah, Sam DeMeester counts as non-semifinal athlete, and he's one of the ones that's huge in consideration. To me, there are only I think 3 that can do it. One being Nick Mathew, because he didn't go to semifinals this year.
Ooh, Nick Mathew. Yeah. That's
Yep.
good.
Sam DeMeester, and there's one more.
He's
I
that
need to pull
Mayhem
it up.
team athlete for people that don't know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here it is. Who is it, John or Tyler?
Nick Mathew did not go to semifinals this year. Sam DeMeester. He is for those who don't know, he's on Mayhem's team. He's a great athlete. He went to semifinals in 2021 at the Granite Games. He got like 20 something there. It was a pretty good semifinal. And my thought on this is, if he's been at Mayhem for this many years, he's been training with these guys, and we've spoken to several people this weekend who are like, Sam will be one to watch out for. Like, could push into top 5. Could be a total gamble though. We've not seen him with individual athletes in a long time.
That's true.
Tanner Blaz also did not go to semifinals.
Tyler's big on Tanner. Based on his winning events, Tyler would have him in the top 5.
That was so difficult to do. What was the other one?
I don't think Corby qualified this year.
Sam Stewart is another good one who could push into the top 10.
Yeah, T-Bird asked the question, what about Sam Stewart? Will
Yeah.
he not do well?
I don't want to shit on Sam Stewart.
Then don't.
He just doesn't have a good track record right now.
He's not fit.
And he hasn't shown that he can
Fit.
hang with the top 10 at this semifinal or at this event. I want to believe Sam Stewart can push into there, but the burden of proof is on Sam.
Yeah, I think top 10's where he could finish. I think he has the capability to. I don't think top 5 is there.
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say it's Sam DeMeester and Nick Mathew, and then that's it.
In the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are on your side. Like, they're over half the field was not at semifinals this year.
What are you doing?
So my computer's gonna die.
All right. How many will finish in the top 10? I'm gonna go with the majority. I'm gonna say 2. I think that's a high possibility. Event 1, the men's muscle ups. How many men can go unbroken on the muscle ups? 5 or more, or less than 4, or 4 or less.
John had a good, interesting take on this earlier today.
What was that?
That you didn't think any could go unbroken.
Any of the women?
Oh, any of the women. Sorry.
Do you think? I mean, listening to Chris, if you're staring at the rings, you're not going unbroken. You're going to do 5-5.
And he's somebody that would be pretty good at the rings.
Pretty good at them. I'm not sure.
I still said 5+. But that makes me lean.
And that's all. Is that all 3 rounds?
Yeah.
All 3 rounds.
Yeah, we're going 4 or less on that one.
I either this is going to get blown out of the water and like 8 are going to do it, or
That's how I feel. feel. I feel like it's going to be like 2 people, like maybe it's just Taylor and Colten. That's it. Or it's going to be done by like 12 people.
I don't see. I think the number is actually a pretty good bet. I could see 10, 12 going unbroken the first round,
but not third.
Not the third. And I could see it going all the way from 12 to like 1 or 2.
Talking to some people today that like that workout evidently is just a smash fest. Like, it makes you feel terrible.
A lot of people are getting effed up by that dumbbell.
Yeah, I don't think people realize like the grip requirements of that dumbbell, and then the cumulative effect of that, where you get to that third round, you're like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to hold on to it that long. Like, that's a long time to be holding on to the rings for 10. at that stage of the workout.
Yeah.
So
We'll,
I am going.
We'll watch people seriously prove themselves as amazing athletes if they do it.
If somebody does, is it Colten and Taylor? Is there anybody else?
I'm
here's
trying to. I mean, maybe Nick.
Nick could do it for sure. He has the capacity to do it.
It's more. I think it's more ability than fitness. I think it's a very fitness.
Yeah, I was like,
but what I'm saying is, I could see Nick like do the dumbbell and then take his time, walk to the rings, do them unbroken, take his time, walk to the dumbbell, like he might not race it, but go unbroken is what I'm saying.
Right. And see, I could like with Taylor, there's a gamble because he's pretty methodical, and so it's like he might make the decision early on to break and just hold that cadence.
Yeah, he might go just 6'4" and
try to do.
I think that's
breaks.
That's where you could see if you start looking around and see everybody else break, and you're one of those that's like in your heat that's going unbroken. You're like, ugh. Maybe I don't go unbroken the second round because there's no reason to.
Right.
It's running though, isn't it?
What?
What do you mean?
The
running?
way the workout works, you have a mandatory minute rest, but you still go before everybody else.
Yeah, but if you're going unbroken, right, and that's your strategy the first round, and nobody else in your heat has done that, and now you're getting ready to go round 2, and you're going to be in the lead.
You might pull back
unless it's so easy for you, which I don't think it will be. You go
no. I think I can see you break
6'4", and then
I can see that.
P score. That's where P score comes in. Yeah,
but you save some for the third round. He's saying the second
I agree,
round.
but
you ensure that you can go unbroken in the third round.
Right.
I could see that a lot. And then if you can't go unbroken, you made the right call.
Yeah. Women's muscle ups. How many women can go unbroken on the muscle ups? 2+ or 1 or 0? I don't think anybody does.
I don't either.
I mean,
I should have asked Fee today, Tyler. We should have asked her.
I think it's 2+.
Bro.
I got
you got some intel?
I got some intel. I can't give it away. But I think it's 2+.
I think your intel's full.
And I think you wouldn't even guess who the people would be. But you can see that.
We could speculate, but
on Friday.
If you think Olivia Kerstetter is one of your people, then you're thinking wrong.
No.
Because
I think
if they just told you times and like, oh wow, they're gonna have a really good time on this, that does not equal unbroken.
No. But I do think Olivia's going to do good at this workout.
I do too, but I don't think she's going unbroken on the ring muscle ups.
No.
But I don't think she has to. Like, I mean, she smashes the dumbbell.
I think she'll do.
Looks around and goes, "Oh, well, I'm going to play it smart and not blow up." Right? And maybe you get to that last round and you feel good and you can go unbroken, but you've already messed it up by that point. So, I don't think anybody does. Event 2. What is event 2, Tyler?
Event 2 is the
handstand walk.
Handstand walk.
That is six midline sadness, 6 rounds.
Yep.
12-9 calorie ski, 12-meter handstand walk, 12 med ball GHD sit-ups, 12-meter handstand walk back to the ski erg. Can tour women go sub 11? The time cap is 15 minutes.
Yes.
I am now nervous about this line.
Too low?
Either it's too it's too low, or I shouldn't be nervous at all. I'm getting conflicting information that it's either like perfect and like barely anybody's going to go sub 11, but then I'm also getting intel that like, I think are going to go sub 11.
I think 3 or 4 people will go sub 11, but then after that, like it'll be a tier. It'll be a tier. Like they all do it, but then there'll be a big drop.
Yeah. You'll see the really good athletes separate.
Yeah.
See, if you listen to JR, he said the ski is going to take 30 to 40 seconds. Everything takes about the same amount of time combined. That puts it at about a minute and a half per round. So that's 9 minutes without any rest. And that's like probably the fastest you can go.
I'm going to say Lydia Fish, Olivia Kerstetter, Carson Wolf do it for sure.
Fee?
I don't know. No, I'm going to say no one Fee, but those three do it for sure. I'm going to say no one Fee.
Are you speaking just because of the handstand walk?
Yes.
Fee could do it. She's not a lock.
I'm not even going to say she could. I think those three for sure. I don't know how Fee's going to be. I think it's going to be harder than you think for Fee.
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go the underdog route on this one and say that less than 2 women.
Ooh, 68% are saying
yes
right now. That's interesting.
I don't think they know what they're saying yes to.
Well, maybe the show will teach them something. All right, event 3, Pilgatory. Can anyone do the thrusters unbroken, male or female? One person.
I think if Colten doesn't, then he's a liar and should be.
He just said chest to bar though? He didn't say the thrusters.
No, he said every single workout unbroken at Crash or bust.
If he does,
so if he doesn't, then he should be condemned because he said he would.
I'm voting no on this.
I'm going to say yes. I'm never going to doubt Colten with something he's confident at. If Colten is confident at something, I'm never going to doubt him.
I don't believe it. After messing with the worm today, I don't believe it.
You and Colten are different people.
I know that I'm different, but I am good at scaling, like understanding what my fitness is and scaling it back up to the best. And I still don't think you can go unbroken.
You heard it, Colten. I hope Colten is listening. I believe in Colten Mertens.
I hope he does it. He blows up.
What if he got to 49 on the second round and then looks at me, smiles. He's way ahead of everybody, and then just dumps it, and then does one more, and then go on to the next thing. I would be so furious.
Oh man, he's the only one that has, I think, a chance of going unbroken.
Is a female?
I think Olivia's got a chance for the thrusters.
To be honest, I think
for just
girls
the
have a
thrusters.
better.
That's all it is. It says just the
That's all it
thrusters,
is.
and I think Olivia will be able to straight up. I think, like I know we were talking about Colten. I think Olivia will be able to straight up.
The girls have the better chance, to be honest.
And honestly, maybe Kyra too, as well.
All of the girls who saw the hundreds we're so happy we have the 70s because of the shape and the size of them. They're so much smaller.
And you need a good shoulder to sit it on for sure.
I'm going to go with yes, but I think it's a tough. I think that'll be a pretty interesting final 50.
Yes.
See what happens. So that'll be interesting. Fastest time, male or female?
I just don't think anybody's beating Colten.
That's 100% true. Male all day long.
I think it's a female.
If Colten goes unbroken, nobody beats him.
They weigh less.
The women will break on the chest to bar.
Facts.
Fair. I just think they'll move through it faster. The pill is going to cause less fatigue on them than it is the men.
I think the average time might be faster for the women, the top women, like top 10 women versus the top 10 men. Women could be there.
But you think the best of the best will just still be faster.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Let's see. Event 4 and 5, top 10. Can 4 athletes go top 10 in both event 4 and event 5? So these are back-to-back workouts. Lineman's fright, 4 rounds for time. This is the 6 deficit strict handstand push-ups and 30-meter sled drive. And then cyclist's delight. What was it? 18 calorie bike erg, and 40 drag rope double unders 4 rounds also for time. Can somebody go top 10 in both of those events? Can 4
Yes.
athletes?
Yes.
I think so.
I think it's close. If it could be 4 or 5. There's not. I don't think there. I just can't see more than that.
I'm going to say 3 men and 3 women.
6. Okay. Do you want to name who?
I
think it's I think it's pretty much the podium.
except Olivia.
Right.
I disagree. The hard thing for that is there's going to be some women that crush that, like the women less so, because there's going to be women that like there's a lot of 5'8", 5'7" women that I think are going to crush the biker and that will have no business crushing the handstand push-ups. But I think somebody like Fee is fit enough. I think Kyra's fit enough. That's 2. And then you just want one outlier that I'm not thinking about. I think we'll do it as well. Maybe if Wishart's handstand push-ups are great, maybe hers. I don't know if they are, but like I think there'll be some random that we're not thinking about that will be great at both of them too. And then for the men, I think Colten gets top 10. I think Taylor gets top 10. I honestly, even though he's telling us that he's the fattest thing in the world, I think Chris still gets top 10. I think those 3 would, and Nick Mathew. I think Nick Mathew will get top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the bike workout though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. Colten does not have the power output of a Drake Lewis or probably a Corby Foxhall, right? Sure. Why? He's 5'4". He doesn't have the power output of 6'2", 220. I get it. But if Colten does that handstand push-up workout in 5 minutes, he has until minute 10 to rest. So if he's 2-to-1 resting, he can go all out on that bike erg workout. You know what I mean?
Right. And all it takes is take 8th.
And it's top 10. He's not going to kill anybody. I just think he's fit enough that he's going to still be top 10.
Yeah, I think when you look at semifinal athletes, like I don't think Colten, even in workouts that don't suit him, is going to finish behind somebody that's not at semifinals.
I 100%. I think Nick Matthews going to kill the bike erg workout.
Unless it's like some niche wheelhouse workout, right? Like, I don't know. It's like a professional cyclist in this case. Like there aren't 9 of 10 of those that are going to beat Colten.
Mm-hmm. There's not 10 of me.
10.
I will say also messed with the handstand push-ups at standard today. We're going to watch a lot of dudes just not be able to do them.
You're pretty good at them too, right?
That's
Yes.
expected though. That's expected. Like it's a large deficit and it's strict handstand push-ups. Like
what's that going to do to the P score? If Colten and Taylor go through them, finish in 5 minutes.
And if Colten goes through them in 5 minutes and Taylor takes 6.
But then I'm saying the rest of the group, like
it's fine.
15, 20 people aren't finishing in the time cap.
They're going to get hurt, but it all takes into that consideration. Like they just need reps on the board. It doesn't matter in what time you do them. I can score it. So, essentially, if you do really bad, like you get 1 a handstand push-up, which isn't going to happen. Like guys are going to be able to get into the handstand push-ups, but if you just get 1, you're going to be ranked negatively against your peers. So it's like if you're the absolute last,
can you get a negative? Can you get negative? Yeah.
So say 5 people all go negative. So they're the last 5 guys. The first one, the best one of those 5 is going to have -1. The next one's going to have -2. Next one's going to have -3. And that's because we need to rank them to some degree. But if I rank them like how they really should be ranked, they would have like -300 points or something like that. And they're just never going to come back from that. And so we can't do that to them.
I would like to do that to them. I think if they're
It's
deserving
fair.
of -30 points, then they get -30 points.
It is. But man, you should just watch some of these athletes.
I don't care. Be better. Be fitter.
This
Listen,
is the fairest.
If I'm at Crash Crucible and we go on a run and I get -73 points, I should be a better runner. It's on me.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Well, you own the P score, so
Yeah.
make it happen. Event
I'm the
6,
captain.
Mad Moon. This is 5 rounds for time, 600-meter run, 15 burpee get-overs on a yoke, and then ascending deadlifts, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So 45 total deadlifts at 365, 245. Can anyone go sub 20? Time cap is 24 minutes. You figure
This one's going to be tough.
conservative run is
3,000 meters of running.
yeah. I mean,
So 1.75. So
I'm saying
14-minute pace, like a 12 minutes, 12:30 running.
Before you do anything else.
right.
And then it's 15 burpees, correct?
Yes, over a 40-inch yoke.
So let's say
men.
12:30, 75 burpees and 45 deadlifts in 7.5 minutes.
No.
You don't think anybody can do it?
Well, I mean, so it's 75 burpees over that yoke. What do we think? 5 minutes?
I mean, the 15 is going to take you
15
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, 15. I think you do 15 a minute if you're absolutely sprinting it. So like for the sake of argument, let's just say you can. Okay, so 17.5 minutes, and then you have 2.5 minutes to do 45 deadlifts at 365. So that would be 23 deadlifts a minute. No. It'd be like 20 deadlifts a minute.
Yeah.
Which is
18.
doable.
That's no transition time.
It's
not at 365.
But what was the pace that you were saying?
The run pace?
Yeah, the run pace.
Yeah. If you had
A 7-minute pace.
yeah, that's
You think
probably
we go
right.
Like at semifinals, Taylor and Chris were running on average a 7:30 was Taylor's pace.
Yeah, then there's zero chance. I don't think a lot finish.
I'm gonna say no.
Did you see this? 80% say yes. They're 80%
Yeah,
wrong.
I don't think they know what they're saying yes to.
Y'all need to look at the actual workout and then go for that. I think people are seeing that it's above 50%, and they're like,
By the
Yeah.
way, hey, I said Chris Ibarra would win this event. I would now like to change to Colten Mertens is going to win that event.
yeah,
Dude, I wish he was fit, man. He's so good when he's fit. Maybe he'll surprise us.
I think what you're seeing is the James Bragg from last year effect, right? Like he shouldn't be fourth when you look at last year's leaderboard, but you take time off and you come to Crucible, you can't do it. So, event 6. Oops! Will someone forget to touch the pylon?
This is my favorite prop.
What are we talking about, Tyler?
This would be fun.
What are we talking about?
There's one pylon. It's just one pylon for everybody.
And when do you touch
And
this
you
pylon?
have to touch it when you come back from the run, so that the distance is all the same for everyone.
Oh, okay. On the run, does somebody forget?
And if you don't, you'll be forced to go back and touch it by your.
So you just run back into the gym and then you don't go touch this pylon. And
Yeah.
what is your determination of it, whether they do not touch it? Like they start on their
If they,
burpees?
to me, I'll be looking for if their judge makes them go back.
Like what if they're like 5 feet past it? Is that forgetting to touch?
Yeah. If they run past it and did not touch it, I'm counting it.
All right.
If they did not touch it, or somebody tells them to go back and touch it.
If they did not touch it, regardless of if their judge.
72% are saying yes. Somebody's gonna be brain dead and just run inside.
I'm gonna say no.
But do you think JR will have somebody there pointing to it saying
The whole time?
This prop
touch
is
it,
JR's
touch it?
idea. Just
What's
this
that?
prop is JR's idea.
Oh, so he thinks for sure somebody's gonna forget.
Yeah.
I'm going with yes then, if that's the case.
The other one that we were gonna go with on this one, they have to run like in that we've seen like in regionals. What was her name? Maddie Rogers or something, or Maddie something. She like ran in running over the barbells. It was like maybe 2017 or something, and she just ate it like a barbell to the face, jumping over the barbells when she was running. Like they're gonna have to do that with their deadlift barbell, and it's like how many people eat it going over the barbell.
I don't think too many will do that.
Can we bring up Clock's comment real quick?
Clock, is Ibarra forced down into the base camp now?
Yes, I would like to formally update the mountain with Colten Mertens is now on the last row of the mountain, and Chris Ibarra is at base camp. The rest of this time at Crash Crucible will dictate if he leaves base camp or not.
I'd like to take a second as well. Hey, Jeff, why don't you shut the fuck up? You do nothing but cause distractions, and you do not add value to the chat. I get that my fucking sound sucks, but like, why is the production of this video so okay? We just won't come to Crash next time, you dumb son of a bitch. God damn, I hate you.
Where's my wrench?
Whoever's got a wrench, get him out. I don't hands out wrenches.
I don't hand out wrenches. I take the algorithm benefit. All right, so you're gonna be throwing out some new prop bets throughout the weekend. I still think you should throw out the largest point gap between first and second.
I really like. I think we will do that. We'll probably announce that tomorrow. We'll release that tomorrow. The largest. So between males male
Either,
or female.
Yep, the largest point gap
between first and second.
In seconds,
it's gonna. So it's either male. You have to pick male or female, or do you have to pick like
how many points? Like 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the men.
Should you do seconds in their times or points?
Points. How many points?
I think it's not the whole competition.
From 100 to 87 for second place, or 80 to like if
I think it's a little hard for people that don't understand P score very much, though.
What do you mean?
This is how they learn.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, this is how they learn.
Okay.
They wouldn't know anyway.
Okay.
I think it's definitely going to be on the guy's side. So the reason I went with whether you think that the split between Taylor and Colten, the 20 points that Taylor needs to beat Colten by, that is roughly, that's on average what I see per position. Like each spot you're down, it's on average across competitions 20 points.
Hey, I think you should update that prop to can Taylor beat Chris by 20 points. I think that would be a good prop, don't you, Brian?
I would take Taylor all day long.
I would take Taylor as well, but I think that would be a good prop.
I think even if you don't understand P score, I think you if you pick a high point spread, you're expecting somebody to just blow out the field in an event, right? Like Colten destroys everybody in the handstand workout or the purgatory. And so, or you think it's going to be close and there's like not a whole lot of separation on any event. Like nobody blows anybody out. There's always a close race.
Do you think that on any event, what's the largest? So we know the largest points gap is 17 points. Olivia, ever. What's the largest points gap we see on an individual workout?
That's basically what I'm saying is, but put it in like 4 buckets.
Wait, so do you mean it on the overall leader, like at the end of the weekend, or do you mean in period?
One event, the biggest point gap between first and second.
So any of the events.
We can actually put that.
Any men or female, doesn't matter, and just say 0 to 5 all the way down to 15 plus.
We can actually put that like in the bottom. We can say the largest points gap ever seen was 17 points.
Yeah. I'm going to say 10 to 15. If that's one of the guesses.
I think I would make it. I would not write it in that way. I think I would make it smaller margins.
13 to 16 is my guess.
You're insane.
That's a big.
On
If,
what
if,
work?
if Olivia is
Colten on Purgatory will be the biggest gap.
there's no way that Colten beats the field by as much as Olivia beat the female field.
It's not 17.
But 15 is pretty darn close.
13 to 15. Hear my words. 13 counts as that.
You're insane. I think it's going to be like 8 to 10.
See, I'd go like 11. I do think Colten will tear up that event, and that's probably the one that will happen. And I think it can hit that 11 point.
Who is second place in Purgatory?
On the men,
I can see Taylor just from the chest to bar pull-ups, because I think that could
If the answer's Taylor, it's over 13 for sure. Y'all act like Taylor is a freaking god, man. Like, listen, I think Taylor's going to be awesome. The deadlift workout's going to dictate what he does in this competition. If he gets top 3, like Tyler said he was going to in the deadlift workout, he'll win Crash. He will beat Colten if he gets top 3 in the deadlift workout. But guys, like, he's not God. It's okay to say that he's not going to beat somebody.
I think that the workout will be made on that last 50 chest to bar and the thrusters. And I don't think the thrusters are going to be, it's more of a grind, like stay with it, than it is like a strength piece of it.
I agree. I will say Taylor has had practice with the pill too. So
had more than most of them. Right.
Right.
So, again, I don't think he's going to beat Colten by any stretch on that one, but
I'm not even saying he won't get second. I'm just saying I think Colten's going to beat everybody by a lot in that workout.
But even a minute isn't going to, I don't think, gets you 13, 14 points.
I'm talking for Colten, Glee. I'm Colten's advocate right now.
Didn't you know, Glee, that John beats Taylor every week?
I beat him in the bench press workout. Colten just did it first.
All right, we're moving on. Blind rankings.
I did, and then I saw Colten, and I was like, I gave up on it. I was like, I'm not following that.
All right, we gotta make up some ground. We were kind of slow on that.
Sorry, I diverted us with my Jeff rant.
All right, first blind rankings.
I know Kenneth. I know Taylor is very good. He's second place. I'm saying he's second place. I'm literally it's not speaking against him.
Here we go. New one. CrossFit Slang. You are going to be ranking the different slang terms within CrossFit.
I'm excited. I don't.
What are you talking about?
Let's find out.
You'll find out the first one. You'll have a better idea.
Y'all didn't catch on to that. I was trying. Like WAD.
What are you?
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Good grief, guys!
That's
Come
way
on.
too much of a dad joke.
I'm trying to get my dad jokes on, and y'all aren't catching on.
Yeah, I did not catch that.
Oh man!
The first CrossFit slang is Metcon, so you can start to see these are specific to
Metcon. It is sort of slang.
It's not going to be as fun as I thought it was going to be. AMRAP, AMOM.
No.
Types of workouts.
You never know. You never know. Metcon.
I don't know. 3. Like box.
Dude, Metcon's one of the most used slang terms. Is it?
Are we using what one we like the most or the most used?
It's up to you guys.
I think we should use what we like the most.
Popular and most used.
Like, would you rather say it's just a workout, or would you call it a Metcon?
Metcon, I go through phases with Metcon. Sometimes I'm like, don't say that word. And then other times I'm like, I'll just say Metcon. WAD pisses me off. Are you gonna do a WAD? It's like,
I don't like WAD. I've never said WAD like actually saying it like that.
Yeah, unless you're talking about the class workout.
I don't say it. I don't even say it like that. I just call it the workout.
The word. You don't even use it.
No, I've never used it how it's like how people use it ever.
John uses a word that I hate. and he uses cardio. I hate the use of the word cardio,
I do use
and
the word
it's fine.
cardio.
I give
Craig,
John,
Craig would
because
not appreciate it. So
I like when John uses it. I hate it when everybody else uses cardio.
Good deal.
where are you
Cardio
putting it?
games, man. I
Where are you
say
putting it?
3. I say 3 just because I don't
All right.
know. I don't know how to feel about
Yeah.
anything right
All
now.
right.
I think this next one will help us a lot.
All right. The next one, box.
But
Box.
I hate box.
4. There are terms that I hate worse than box.
What?
but 4,
What do you hate
Like,
worse than box? I've never said box either. I've said gym. I say gym.
I've said box.
I've never said box ever.
That's when you start feeling culty, is when you use the word box. Like, it's just a gym.
It's 4 or 5 for me, man.
I think 4.
All right.
All right. Something's gonna be worse than box. We'll find out.
I hope.
I thought this was gonna be cool, Brian. You kind of ruined it for me.
I love this.
What are you talking about, John? What are you talking about?
These are just so. I hate it. Go
All
ahead.
right.
John,
Kipping. Do you like kipping?
Let's keep it real, okay? I think
real.
it's how you do something, though, right? We didn't invent the word kipping.
We made it popular.
There's the gymnastics kip. They've had kips since gymnastics was invented. And that's
They
way
call it
back
kind of
when.
kip up, I think, is kind of how it's actually used. So
You better kip up to me.
yeah.
I like.
I'm fine with 2. I don't know how that's a slang word.
Where
John's
did you
trying
ever
to shoot
use it
holes in
before
the game.
CrossFit? Did you ever use it before 5 years ago, John?
Yes, when I was talking about gymnastics.
You do that a
are
lot?
Not.
In the Olympics.
Dude, you do that. Like you said that so accusatory.
You never said kipping once.
I'm an avid gymnastics watcher.
Okay. All right, John.
Huge.
Not a
I
chance.
do it every weekend.
Not a chance.
I bet if we went down the line, I could name more gymnasts than you guys could.
That doesn't mean that you actually watch it.
Natasha Romanoff would be rolling in her bed right now.
Side story. John and I got to talking about hurricanes yesterday. We spent 20 minutes looking up the the largest hurricanes or the most deadly hurricanes.
We were trying to figure out
paths.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out. He said I've never seen a hurricane with this path, like from the Yucatan straight across Florida.
There definitely have been.
And we found out that Hurricane Agnes. Let me tell you, Hurricane Agnes.
This is why John has
a
weird.
mother.
This is why John knows weird shit. He's like, okay.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it doesn't leave me either. I'll forever remember Hurricane
Agnes.
I'll remember Hurricane Agnes more than Hurricane Milton because we looked it up, and then I'm telling once I see it, once I look at it enters it never leaves me, and I'll remember the path way better than Milton. And I don't know why I'm like,
God, the veins in my forehead are off the chain today.
Apparently you bore Summer with this too.
I don't know what we've never talked about Hurricane Summer.
I
I have no idea what she's talking about right now.
Maybe gymnastics. Maybe all that gymnastics talk.
On some other day, we have to go over John's New Madrid fault line story.
We can do it. We can do it. New Madrid.
We'll do that next week. Next one. Fire breather. Let's go
I
back
like
a little
that
old
one.
school.
I like that one. I like the original fire breather, Ben Alderman. I like fire breather. We never use it now.
No,
we don't use it at all now.
If we do, you know that they're good.
I don't think I've not heard it in years. This is like Amundsen days.
If we're going off usage, it's a 5.
Well, I'm not. I like it the best.
But do you like it?
I'll go with 1 because I'm afraid
you
it was
think
about to show up.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. Do you think it's 5? That's the worst slang for you ever is fire breather.
I'm playing with what we got left.
You like box more than fire breather.
I love box.
I think it's number 1.
Tyler, you going with 1?
I'm going
all
with
right.
1.
The last one and 5th place. WOD.
There we go.
You were
Good-
so close.
Yeah,
For
you
the
were-
win. For
You
the
were so
win.
close to throwing
For-
Watt up there in number one.
I
For the
would
win.
switch Watt and box though.
I would too.
I would put Metcon above Kipping.
Any 3-lettered slang just isn't for me.
Wad.
you go.
Wad's the worst word.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Good job. I like the game.
Yeah.
Screw John. I like it.
Let's move on to something else.
Move on to something else. All right.
Yeah. You need to pick a better blind rankings, Brian. That was
That was
bad.
Get out of here, John.
Matt, you've never heard fire breather? Oh man, that's a legendary word.
Matt's
All
from
right.
Australia. They don't use it in Australia.
Apparently
CrossFit,
not.
Well, if you
CrossFit
had to
wasn't
be
around.
you had to be around 10 years ago
Yeah.
to hear that, 12 years ago. If you have not checked out
Oh,
Talking
my
Elite
fault.
Fitness,
My fault. Matt's from Missouri. I'm sorry. I just
No.
saw day and I was thinking, good day, mate. And I was like, that's Australia.
Talking Elite Fitness, they put out a podcast on YouTube. It's only the audio version. I guess you'd listen to the audio version on Spotify or iTunes. While they were out at Wadapalooza, SoCal, they caught up with the Chief Growth Officer, Mitchell Bragg, and they went through it and had some questions for him. And I thought some of them were interesting. So we're going to play some clips, get your guys' reactions. First, Lore asks the question.
Lord.
Tier Wadapalooza SoCal is the first event since the games that the PFAA has had a hands-on communication and involvement with an event. So what did the PFAA do with the organizers? Let's take a listen.
Some of the things that we established early on are we were able to review the programming, just a private small group of myself and my colleague Grace Paulus, who's the COO of the PFAA, along with a couple of athletes that aren't competing. And they were able to review the programming. They were able to analyze whether it seemed like a good volume. You know, that this is not meant to be a, you know, beat you down, tear you up type event. And so they were able to opine on that. So that worked really well. And it still provided an element of, you know, an unknown element. You know, the Brent and Pat and, you know, the other faces of the PFAA, they had no knowledge of what went on. And so that was really helpful to kind of get a perspective on even something like the standards. You know, is it, where do you hold a kettlebell? How do you lunge? One of the things that we were joking about was, you know, how are they going to perform the GHD movement that they have coming up here this weekend? And so those are a couple of things that we saw work really well.
The PFAA reviewed the programming. Is this something we want the PFAA to be doing?
OSHA.
What struck me was there's a lot of joking around about what the standard of the GHD sit-up passing with the med ball was going to be. To me, that sounds like Brent's question all day long.
Why?
Because it's so uncommon, there's so many different ways that you might do it, right? If it's close, if it's a handoff, if it's a pass, how does that all work? Like all of his things are, I want strict definitions of what the movement standards are, right? Like this guy and Grace Paulus are not like, yes, they may do CrossFit, but they are not elite athletes. They're not thinking about it. So who were these other athletes inside the PFAA that were reviewing this stuff and joking about what the GHD sit-ups would be? The standard of them.
Yeah, you got a good point. There's an overlap here of professionalization and the lack thereof of new and innovative movements. And Brent has headed that sort of division of this whole movement up for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that I've told Brent, like, I don't like this part of it. Like, dude, that we need movements to be creative. And then there's nothing, I don't think there's anything unsafe about the wall balls being passed across the GHD. Like,
I don't think it was unsafe, but I think they were trying to figure, like, the way that he said it, joking about the standard. That sounds more than just saying we were really curious on how they were going to do it and wanted to make sure we had a clear understanding of how it was going to be judged. There's a difference there.
Can you think about that, like, for a second? You have two GHDs facing each other. How it's going to be judged, it doesn't, like, there's only one way to get that ball across, and that's to throw it. Who cares? Like,
well, if they're touching, they could do, if it's a handoff. Like, I don't know. I mean,
to me, none of that matters. And it's like, just get the ball to the other side. And that's the problem. Like, you start saying, like, well, we need to know exactly how this movement needs to be performed. It's like, then and I've talked about this in the past, then the butterfly pull-up never exists. If we write that in, no innovation in the sport ever happens. And we know that innovation is the worst thing that happens in sports. It's the most important thing that happens in sports.
We're still doing handstand push-ups in a box.
Yes.
Because nobody's ever tried different ways of...
Nuh-uh, we're on the line now.
We're on the tibia.
Yeah, we would never have had a tibia measurement. Or whatever it is.
Whatever bone that is.
Yeah, this bone right here.
What is that, John? You know.
It's the ulna.
Ulna.
That's what we said.
Radius, ulna. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, tibia's in your leg, guys. I'm sorry, I was tuning out for all that. Y'all are your radius and your ulna.
What's your point, Spin?
I think we've had like this discussion before of like, I don't want current athletes, the small group of current athletes, being the decider of how competitions are going to be run.
What would you like?
If you don't want to compete in it, don't compete in it. Like, if you don't trust Loud and Live Dylan, who's been doing competitions for 13 years, to do programming that's going to be okay for the athletes, then don't compete.
That is a great point in that.
So you think the PFA should never overlook the program? Like, it shouldn't be a thing. Okay.
Could you meet? Is there any way in which you could meet Brent halfway?
I think they're trying to meet.
No, because
Spence like, I don't want to come halfway. I want to be over here. Your half sucks.
No, I know. No, listen. Brent and Pat probably did not have. Brent and Pat did not have insight. I believe him that these two did not see the workouts before they were announced. But you know that there's been plenty of conversations about what competition should be like, what the movements stand like, all the different, like what those guys think competition should be. Right? Whether they're looking at other programming and saying that shouldn't be, that's too much, whatever it is. And so why should those two guys, let's say they're doing another, say it's Dubai, and Dubai asks them to do the same thing, and Pat and Brent look at the workouts. Why should they be the ones that decide that it's okay?
Because they've been athletes for 15 years, Brian.
They're going to have biases, just like if you said, hey, Colten and Scott Tetlow, why don't you guys go review the workouts and the standards?
Too much tall people stuff.
Right.
Let's bring it on down, guys.
Not
enough squatting.
There's all biases. I just don't get why the PFA feels like that's where they should be able to insert themselves into a competition.
It is. This whole thing is propped up, like you saying that Dylan has run competitions for the past 13 years or whatever. And to say like, well, you're not an athlete, so you don't get it. It's like, well, hold on a minute.
Bill and Katie aren't athletes, and they have a say in Rogue.
Actually, Katie was an athlete.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I know. it makes it pretty thin when you put it that way. Like, oh, we're just listening to you guys because you're athletes. Versus, and they've.
Do you think he might have interpreted it a little like wrong, or he said it wrong, where like it's not, they didn't have a say in the standards. They just like said, hey, this is what we're doing. Is it okay? Like, do y'all think this is okay?
That's a say in the standards.
No, I'm like, this is the standard. Is it safe? That's not them saying what they think the standard should be. And before you respond, I'm in complete agreement. I think the PFA should have no say in how any competition is ran or the standards. 100%. I'm on your side.
Yeah,
But if a competition wants them to be a part of it, I don't see a problem. The competition wants them to be a part of it. You know what I mean? It's the competition that's doing it. I don't think it should be mandatory for anybody.
Yes, but there's an awful lot of political pressure at the moment.
Now, I know there's like some demands out there, but that doesn't mean they don't want them.
I mean, it goes back. If they're only looking at it from a safety standpoint, they would have spoken up and said the do on the ground is too unsafe to do handstand walking over obstacles. Like we shouldn't be doing bar muscle ups onto a slippery surface, then going and running and doing cleans.
Maybe
Like,
they
we
thought that was okay.
The thing that I've been thinking about CrossFit for years is that we needed to do expert.
We do need more people. So I don't like that. Like I don't like it. Next, Tommy asked a question.
I don't like it either, Spin.
I don't either.
I'm sorry I don't share the same passion as you do, but I'm on your side. I agree with you.
All right.
There's a burger here as opposed to other nothing.
There is a burger. There is a burger. I
There's
don't
a
know.
burger.
Where it's
Every time I
from.
talk, there's a burger, John. We're not getting back into this 2
burger.
weeks ago. I'm telling you.
Maybe like a Five Guys burger. That's a good one.
2.0.
Don't
It's
you dare.
happening.
Five Guys is the best burger there is.
I'm saying there's this burger here we need to discuss. It's
Okay.
tasty.
Sounds good. Tommy asks the question: is there anything the PFAA is working on that does not get as much press? Let's take a look. Listen.
One of the things that even long before what took place at the CrossFit Games occurred is I was meeting personally with a number of events on behalf of the PFA to just learn what the PFA can do to, it's a little bit of a buzzword, but bring value to them. And that could be, reviewing programming. That could be helping them identify, the volume of an event. That could be ensuring that athletes are communicating in advance. Those conversations have happened well before the games and have happened since the games. And a lot of events have kind of behind closed doors said, we support what you guys are doing. Maybe we're not ready to quite raise our hand and say, hey, we're actively working on a dialogue with the PFA, but certainly behind closed doors, they've said, we want to get better. We want to improve, and we want to do what's best for athletes. And I could say the same thing about not only events, but I could say the same thing about athletes. There's been a number of conversations with the top 30, 40 athletes in the world that have expressed interest and had engaging conversations behind closed doors that maybe they're not just prepared to talk about in the public sphere just yet for a variety of reasons. And again, same with brands. Spoken with a number of brands that have said, hey, we're just not in a place right now where we can say this publicly, but we know that the PFA is advocating on behalf of athletes.
Bruh. Everybody's behind closed doors, and you're like, and that's normal. I would date you, but if my dad finds out, so I would date you.
Just so you know, I would 100% tear you apart, but I can't. But I'm married, so
right. I can't.
But I wanted to let you know that just behind closed doors, just so you know,
dude. Who's gonna say besides like us and like a couple of our friends? Who's gonna say no? I don't want to do this. Like, this is a dumb idea. No one's gonna tell you to your face that.
Just on
you know
a
what I mean?
podcast.
It's easier. Yeah. it's easier to say, what's this guy's name, Mitch? It's easier to say to you, Mitch, to your face, hey, what you guys are doing is there's a lot of good behind what you're doing, and we might could get behind that.
But just don't implicate us with you.
Right.
And he followed up in this. He followed up by this by saying that essentially, I don't know the specific order of events, but essentially NorCal started working with them. I don't know if it was before or after the demands, but basically, like Blair and Ben went to him and was like, "Hey, like what you say, if we're tied to you, what you say publicly impacts us. Like you can't just like if we're going to be working with you and then you go off and put all these demands, and I believe it was like these 3 demands, like if you go put that stuff out there and we're working,
we have to end the relationship.
Essentially that ties us to agreeing with your 3 demands, and it doesn't sound like that was the case. There's a lot there, and I don't know what to make of it. Like, I think you're right, Tyler, that it's more they're saying things. Yeah, that's great. Just don't.
We're just glad handed.
Just
hey, yeah, that's a good idea.
Just don't say that.
Someone who tried to get as somebody who tried to get Z-score in several high-level competitions, people are happy to say that your idea is a good idea, but maybe next year.
Listen, Tyler, as the reigning expert on rejection formed in acceptance, Tyler knows what he's talking about, guys.
Jeff Biacco gave us $10 for Tyler's new microphone coming next week. Carla,
I'm going to start calling in.
Carla, do you think the PFAA is going to start charging competitions to get their stamp of approval? They've paid for dumber things.
Maybe like $5,000.
Paid for dumber things. What are you talking about? Like $8,000 for a sand sculpture?
No, like $5,000 for like a social media post or something.
Yeah, things happen. I don't get it. So
they just don't happen to us.
Yeah. Lauren then asks.
Tyler.
Sorry, it's getting late and I'm getting wild.
Lauren then asked what the PFA is working on to, quote, move the needle forward. Let's pull that back up.
We mentioned about Wadapalooza. We've identified a number of events that we believe would be key partners for doing something similar in the future. We're definitely have been exploring the opportunities that athletes have to compete at high level, high caliber, well-respected events that could perhaps fit into a cohesive, storyline from, event 1 to event 2 to event 3, kind of that through line that you might see in maybe more quote unquote mainstream sports, right?
Create a storyline, a season structure, so we could talk about from week 1 to week 2 to week 3.
This dude needs a government job. He's guilty of John's favorite sin, which is saying many words, but not saying anything at all.
I don't think I do that at all.
No, it's your favorite. It's your favorite thing to hate that people do.
Oh yes, I agree. He does. Yes, that's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean, I'm trying to stay in this so I can say something when Spin asks me. It's really hard.
Why don't you like this? Why do you not like the PFAA talk, John?
I'm just
John
bored.
buzzes out as soon as that guy starts.
It's not the mountain. John doesn't care.
No. I got you. Like I feel bad about it. I'm trying to be in it so I can like form an opinion. It's just like Tyler said. He's just talking about nothing. I'm just bored.
I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
No.
I think it gives, and we'll get to the next couple questions. Like, he's starting to tip his hand on what the ultimatum is, right? Like, he wants a cohesive storyline, right? He wants week to week to week. What is that? It sounds like a season, right? Like not the current game structure, but like, they
Always
have
got
to
a
go
plan.
to they have to go to multiple competitions, and there's some type of points and things of that nature.
I don't want to call what they're doing communism. But everybody else has this idea.
That struck spin.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Everybody else has this idea of form of governance. I can do this the right way. Everybody thinks they can do communism the right way. Everybody's got a new idea.
I've never once thought I could do communism the right way.
Anybody who does communism.
Big democracy guy here.
Any
They're
communist thinks they can be a good communist governor.
They're
or
like, Stalin got
government.
it wrong. I can do it right. And everybody's got this idea. It's similar in that everybody's got this idea of CrossFit. It's like, they're doing it wrong. I can do it the right way. Just buy my thing.
I can see that. Tommy then asks if there's something, the definitive end result that they're chasing. Like what are they actually going for?
I would hope that anyone that wants to see the sport not only succeed in the next 1, 3, 5, 17 years, whatever the number is, would say you have to have a good media partnership in order to grow. I mean, it's no secret in every other major sport that media is the key to growth, because if you're not telling stories about your top athletes who are the ones competing on the field of play, then really what are you doing then? Surely the events on the field of play matter in the microscopic, but in the big picture, if you can't tell a story from week to week or event to event, it's not literally week to week. I don't want anybody to think that we're talking about week to week grid league style.
Grid league. He's attacking Tyler right there.
I'll hear not. But event to event, that athletes have a cohesive story over the course of multiple stages or whatever you want to call them. That's really important, and if it's key to longevity and financial success of every sport.
Why does everybody shit on grid?
They don't even compete every week. They compete every other month.
Yeah, they don't compete that often. I mean, there's a storyline and there's teams, but they don't compete that often. I mean, okay, so this is the one point, but he hasn't said anything new. But it's we all agree, we need more storyline. We need more ability to tell stories. He's not wrong. He's just not said anything new. That might not be his fault. It might just be the question that he was asked. So he's playing the question. But
I would say he's very vague in his answers. They do ask a lot of what do you want to see? What do you think is going to happen? And it's well, I don't have a crystal ball. Well, okay, but the question is, what do you want to see to happen? And you get those answers, right?
Right.
We all agree.
I think that's my issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he said nothing. He said that you need media for the sports to grow. We agree. We've said that a million times. And he wants a season structure. Cool. Well, how are you going to do that? Tell us the way.
I will
if you subscribe next week.
I will tell you how right now. Lauren then asks about the timeline of what they are thinking about.
If we didn't start making plans, it'd be too little too late if CrossFit came out and said, hey, we're not going to change a darn thing whenever they finally, make a substantive public response here. And if that's the case, that may be too little for us to act. So in the near term, like I mentioned earlier, we're having conversations with events that would be potentially interested in helping athletes compete as
behind
an
doors.
Alternative. In the event that it comes to that point. And I don't think it needs to or will necessarily, but we would be poor planning if we hadn't done that in advance.
What do you say, John?
CrossFit says no to all three.
Again, so but then he goes, well, we're having these close conversations with people, and we're having these. We're having conversations with people. You're not doing it. You know who he sounds like? You know who he sounds like. I wasn't going to say it, Tyler. I was just going to have you nod your head. But you know what I'm saying? Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what's going to happen. I don't care about conversations. I had a conversation with Boss. Well, guess what? 99% chance nothing happens. You know what I mean? Like until it happens, I'm not gonna tell a whole bunch of people about it.
Until she sleeps with you, she ain't slept with you, bro.
Is that fair though? You understand what I'm saying, Tyler? Like it's just I'm like, bro.
Well, it's a way to sound like you're doing something without doing anything.
And then
we be talking.
And then okay, and then what pisses me off, Brian, and like this is why I just tune out because it means nothing. It means
Why'd
nothing.
you hit Brian?
No.
I'm putting him through this.
No. Brian doesn't piss me. No. Yeah, don't.
No,
it's just this is. I'm sorry. I'm not pissed off at you, Brian. I'm explaining to you why this type of stuff pisses me off and why I like just tune out about it. Is that and then he goes, and I mean I hope that stuff doesn't necessarily come to pass, right? Yes, you do. That's what you're trying to do. Like that makes no sense. Hopefully, CrossFit just changes and everybody likes the CrossFit Games again, and there's no need for anything that I'm having conversations about. But how? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like where you're talking in circles and saying like but I hope the triangle happens. That doesn't make sense. And then end all. I've wasted 5 minutes of my life listening to this because nothing's gonna happen from it at all.
I think you're 100% right, John. Like they want this to happen.
But that what I'm saying is that's why like I just don't care at all until wake me up when something happens, and then I will adjust.
Well, John, we got to talk about what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
Unless it's predicting what's going to happen in a competition, I really don't have any expertise to share with anybody, man. This is why I don't have the strongest phone, whatever you called it, the most powerful phone. All I know is the sport. The actual sport, doing the sport. Who's going to do what, how they're going to do it. And I will tell you exactly how it's going to happen.
So
most of the time, accurately, unknown and unknowable. Most of the time, accurately. On this case with Chris, it's probably not accurate because he said it wasn't going to be accurate. But I hate empty conversation. I hate unproductive conversation. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of sounding like you're important. I hate it. I hate it so much. And that's why I don't talk.
You talk so much.
No, but I'm saying like you're asking
me
why No, you're asking me why I tune out. That's why I tune out when I get like PFAA stuff. I know how to talk about one thing and I'm really good at it. And I feel like I'm really smart with predicting things in this one thing. Everything else, I don't give anything. I can't contribute anything to any other conversation. You know what I mean? I'm not worthy of the conversation. And I don't want to be.
Keeping it real, your takes are absolutely amazing, John.
I don't want to be a part of the conversation.
Good thing John don't like talking, guys, because if he
did, watch out.
Can you guys not see what I'm coming from at all? I feel like I'm doing a poor job of trying to get my point across.
You're doing a great job. So Spin, you're alluding to not only are they making demands, he's also showing his cards and what the plan is. They already have a plan. They've already built the thing. They're waiting to just pull the trigger.
Yes.
And so you think this is like sort of a fuck around and find out. Like this is like a go ahead.
Well, I think Pedro asked Brent and Pat, like, well, what if they say no, right? And it was like, well, we're not really ready to share. I don't think Mitch here had the same ability to not give enough to say, here's what we want. We want a season structure. We want all these, we want events and a season. And he mentions ESPN and a part of that I didn't clip out, right? So like they have some plan that they're ready to do. And he talks a lot about February and being ready for February. So they can't wait until they respond because it might be too late. So, I don't know what competitions they're having discussions with, right? Does Bill and Katie take their call and actually play along with them?
Behind closed doors.
No, I think they say that Bill and Katie took their call and they went to voicemail. I think this is F around and F around some more. That's what I think it is.
Take-
mean,
They take Bill and Katie take their call like Laura takes Sevon's call.
Yeah. Listen, Katie takes their call the way Katie takes my call. She doesn't take it.
And she answers every time.
Like Sevon at least gets voicemail. They call and it goes beep beep beep. This number is out of service. Like that's what happens when they call Katie.
Tommy asked the question: what is the public most off base and they're thinking about the PFAA?
One of the misperceptions is definitely that we only want to see this massive change in the sport because it's been sort of a witch hunt or a headhunt, and that's not at all the case. I mean, a lot of the athletes, as I mentioned earlier, they truly value the platform that they've been provided with CrossFit, and I think that's probably one of the biggest misperceptions is that they don't value it, or that they don't love the sport for some reason because they made personal decisions on any given day. Yeah. But they want to see the sport grow.
They want to see the sport grow their way. And
Well,
to Tyler's point, they can grow
Kamala
better
wants
than
gas
anybody
prices to keep going up, but guess what? They're coming down. I hate to break it to you.
I'm confused. He started out saying everybody thinks we're on this witch hunt, but the athletes want the sport to grow. He did this sleight of hand thing where he's like, I'm talking about this, and then he just moved it. He didn't say anything.
Right.
He didn't say what they were doing, how they felt. He said it was not. He said it. Everybody thought it was a witch hunt, and then moved it to the athletes.
Right. Yes.
Good take, Mitch.
And the last part, I think this might be my favorite. Lauren asks, what one change, if you pick one thing the PFA would like to see, this is Mitch's answer.
I would just say overall, just communication and making sure that athletes' voices are heard. If nothing else can happen, to have a unified voice of athletes be heard to event organizers and it's kind of a buzzword, but the broader ecosystem, and say athletes are united on these 3, 5, whatever, 7 things. I think that would be one thing that if we could communicate as athletes in one unified voice on a number of key issues, that would be great, because there's no, we're not really progressing things if there's division amongst on opinions. I mean, that's not going to help the sport grow. So communicating one level of unity.
That's called communism.
Unity.
You're not allowed to have an opinion because we're one unified opinion.
What's crazy is earlier in the interview, he mentions that like people like Pat and Brent, people who've been in the sport for a long time, are going to have different opinions than say Dallin and James in his example, because they've been in the sport for a shorter period of time. You're never going to get all of these athletes to say, like you saw the 3 demands, they couldn't even agree on those. I guarantee it's split down the middle.
Eddie, get half of the athletes on a phone call.
Right.
Eddie Ift used to have this. He used to he used to do the podcast with Arm and Hammer. And he used to say, if I hear the word community one more freaking time, I'm going to murder half of the gym. Because it used to be all you hear. It's all about the community. If I hear the word unity, unified voice, like Sevon has a point here. Everybody hears them. And if they want to unify, then do it. Unity is not something that's hard to achieve if people want to unify.
Right. I would have sworn a week ago that Ariel was 100% on board with what the PFAA was asking. She's not even a freaking part of it. She could care less about it.
Yeah, not only that, she shit all over them.
Right.
And you thought that because of her opinion towards the games, right? Her opinion towards the games run in line with the PFAA, and you thought she's very pro PFAA because she's might not do the games next year for reasons she said.
Yeah.
And valid reasons that she said. And she come on here, she's not with the PFAA. It's like, and guess what? There's going to be opinions that Ariel Lowen has different opinions than the PFAA does, but probably already is. And Ariel Lowen is middle America mom. If you can't get her unified,
For
you're
somebody
not,
who
you're not
probably
unifying.
who probably is okay with their end goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like whatever the PFA is working towards, it sounds like a new season outside of CrossFit, some PFAA fit like season that's on ESPN that's outside of Castro's reign. And she doesn't agree with you. You're never going to get enough athletes to do that.
This is the most powerful point. What if you go back and you watch the past 10 episodes we've done since the PFA, all that stuff has started to get real big. Every week, it's like, it's not like we've all said, even Sevon said, like, it's not that we don't agree with the safety of the sport and what the PFA is trying to accomplish. It's how the PFA is trying to do it. The problem isn't what you're trying to do. It's you. It's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to unify and then turn yourself into a martyr. Continue to keep doing that. Dude, just look in the fucking mirror. It's you, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hopping on your point, Spin. Like, if you can't get Ariel on your team and she's already like basically agrees with, she's standing next to your team but won't fight with your team, what are you doing wrong? You just have to ask her to step to the right into your team, and she won't do it.
Right.
And there's a reason why.
That she won't share publicly.
Right.
That one got me. Like, you're if you do what you're saying you're going to do, you're splitting the community.
The community.
Like,
I've got to find that clip.
And I think maybe some of this is like, because they talk about
communisticity.
There was one about there was one segment or one question about, like, Tommy said, like, incubating like these ideas. And basically he said, yeah, we've been talking to all these groups, athletes and brands and events, and one almost in behind closed doors and pressure test.
Oh, we can't say.
They want a pressure test.
She goes to a different school.
They want to pressure test what they're going to do with all of these groups before they do it. Like, trying to build a consensus, and you're never going to. And if you're going to wait to go do something, you're never going to get it. Like, if your way is so much better, you're going to have to go with it and see who follows you.
Spin. Could you imagine trying to get anything on the Spin done, like this show? If you text us every week and we're like, John, Tyler, do you agree with these topics?
Hey, do you want to do this? You want to do this last segment? John's like, no, it's so boring. I guess it's the mountain again.
Mountain every week.
We can't do the mountain every week. I can't. That's too much energy.
I don't know why. Like, he's referring to Ariel. We never got the full scoop. No, I
never go full Canadian.
It's not that I'm anti these topics, guys. I just don't have the biggest opinion on them.
Yeah.
Or I do, but nobody cares. Like, it's just I'm uncaring about it.
We're about to find out.
October 7th.
Any day now.
Sunday.
Yeah. So if you want, go check out, I think it's your last podcast. It's on YouTube. It's the last thing they've uploaded. All audio. It's just a logo. If you feel like doing it. Rogue, I'm not going to spend any time on it, but Roman's out.
Happening.
Roman's out. Saxon's in.
Alexis is out.
Alexis is out. And Miss Spiegel is
Because
in.
what would we do if she couldn't be there?
I don't know. We'll find out. Miller has.
It wouldn't be
plans.
right. That's for sure.
That's right. That's right. Halpin's dog doesn't want us to end.
You need to go outside.
This dog needs us. All right. How do we think we did, John?
I think it was all over the place.
You think so? Yeah.
It's just like this big toss up, and we just like there's no structure, and it's just like this kind of crazy show half the time, which makes it a little interesting and makes it fun. Sure.
There you go.